bringing out the real professionals around town. It's all in money. I saw Mary Jane Cross.
Yes, she, yeah.
Need anything, Karen?
Oh, no.
Hey man, come on in.
Hey, Mr. Larry, how you doing?
Doing great.
I'm
Get that. Just get me a little.
about whooped down.
I'll tell you what, man. Especially if you get to the end of that, and you don't do anything, you know.
Another board was in use, so. So I was trying to do that.
I used to do it sometimes. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah.
Two, but I'm not three. I got one left over from last year. Now, especially since I started to sell, so. What was that? Oh, it's probably like I did with the guy, you know? Yeah, it's the quickest in the country. I'm working with this out.
At the store.
Maybe some, yeah.
Painting
No, I'm
the
just at the
lawn.
store. No, I've been on last night.
Does it always do this?
That's
You know?
what's good for.
Go to the one over here.
Yeah.
It's on.
I would think that you'd be very, very good at that. Sometimes you gotta get the other stuff. What coffee yesterday? You know, I saw this little TV that flips down that goes underneath the counter in the kitchen. With the little DVD player? I loved it. I thought it was
You can slip the
great.
DVD right inside.
Yeah, I saw it, and I thought, this is really neat. And he thought himself,
So I got it inside the way.
yeah, we know it. You get crazy control. And he bought this. Season art piece. And I said, oh, yeah. I know, I'm like, do we really need that? Where are we gonna put that? His family was the one that started Sister. He's been cooking all his life. In fact, if you look at him, his arms are covered with like stars from putting his arms, getting burned, pulling pizza out of them. But anyway, he called it that. But you know, I started digging in my kitchen this morning, and I realized old food processor that works really well. And I'm like, you sure we need it? Usually you have to wait till everything's done before you do it.
There's about wait till you need it.
Yeah.
You want to get it.
That's kind of what I said. And yeah, he found it, and he said, Deborah, I want this, and it's a really good check. I haven't seen it this cheap before. And I said, well, whatever. So we both paid for it, and the people said, oh,
What you need?
Can I borrow the exacto?
Oh, sure. Look, that's what I have them here for, huh? And you don't have to ask me. Just come up and get it. I mean, that's what they're here is for everybody to use. Notice how she changed that around. It's a commission that's one of my students is going to be doing, which is long-term student.
Oh, she changed his hair.
Hmm?
She changed his hair.
Well, he used to have it in a, he used to have it in a
Because his family not.
ponytail. That's where
Yeah,
he
they
wanted it.
sold it to a
He took
different
another job.
family.
He's got to do something a little different.
I don't know if those people worked with them or if they were just friends, but anyway. They
Oh
sold
my
it
goodness.
back in maybe.
Isn't that gorgeous? That'll blow your brains off. I mean, it just really blows your mind.
Something like that. It really is, especially when, like yesterday, it's not a good day. Like today, you're in charge again. I don't care what we have. I don't care if we go out. It just doesn't matter as long as I don't have to do it. And get with that kind of thing. We have those things.
Well, it's Larry Casso. I want to welcome you again to my studio. It's December 1st, 2005, and we're getting ready to do a painting of a scene of some young boys walking down the street in New Orleans, and it's in a place on Coliseum Street, back in my old neighborhood in the Irish Channel, and it was a place called the Half Moon. And I know some of you familiar with New Orleans would remember it, and I just thought this was very effective, the way the light hit it, and all the different things that are going on, so we're just going to jump in and see what we can do with it. Now, this is another one of those situations where I'm going to start with my shadows first. So we're going to take that, I like putting a little bit of that alizarin crimson in there with that red. Could y'all whisper a little louder so the rest of us can hear that? All right, now, first thing I love about this paper is I love the way it gives you that effect going around the edges like that. Cool, man.
Man, they ain't.
I tell you, Joe, it's
Nothing
just,
in this
we're gonna have to
world.
find some of this. You know, this just gives it a quality.
I've got a little book of that at home. I got to get it out.
Well,
But it's small.
yeah, and what
I
I've
love
found
that.
is you can get them like, you know, the different stores will have them on sale occasionally.
I don't
And,
people. I don't think people have discovered what it is.
No, I know that.
I
I know
wonder
that.
if our Hobby Lobby has.
Oh yeah, that's where I got it.
Over on College, Hobby?
Oh, that probably has a bigger supply
It's
than
got
the
a
other
bigger
because
selection.
it's.
Really?
But and that's maybe the only place because I don't think even Michael's has it at all. You see, you got a couple of screws like I wanted to. Just unscrew it and take it out, so because you can't use the first page. But what I love is now watch how long this is going to stay wet. And let me make sure I'm in the zone here.
So is there a name for that paper? Is it rag paper?
Well, what you do is you go over and you see it, and I'll see if I went and took off the little container that it was on, and
I think I got mine at Co-op bookstore.
could have been
'Cause
Co-op might have the same.
Because I
thing.
had I had a gift certificate. But I don't remember that they had one this big. I think that.
Well, the best source I found has been Hobby Lobby, and it's
They're probably a whole lot better price.
not necessarily. But okay, let me just go ahead and continue down here, and then we'll put our shadow right along here like this. Notice I'm just putting shadows in. Now, see, that's including the cast shadow. I did a sketch of those kids in just a few minutes. I just love putting a little extra red in there. And what I think I'm gonna do, Joe, could I get you to maybe go get me
Need some fresh water.
another yeah, because I'm fixing to do the front of the building while this is drying. Now the unique thing about this thing's gonna stay wet quite some time.
That is some water.
That's just you know, like I could do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Then I could come back and do a whole bunch of other stuff, or I can come back and I could still do wet on wet stuff. And I found that sometimes you got to let it do that. Okay, now let me see, make sure. I think I went and overshot the mark on it with this cast shadow. So what we're gonna do.
I change mine about once a year, whether it needs it or not. It gets mold going on it.
Yeah, Joe cleans his when it looks like it went through Katrina.
When it starts growing
It's
things,
a biohazard.
it's just getting good, right?
Yeah, but we miss you when you're not here.
This would be a good one for that New Orleans book.
Sure would.
tell you what, I was reading that New Orleans book. It's just like being there.
It'll
It's
make you cry.
wonderful.
I'll tell you what, you're sweet. I really appreciate that because I love it. Now, see, that's a little brighter than I want it to be, but when I come back and start putting some of my other stuff in, I'll make my alterations on that. Now, this I love to do. So instead of just a plain yellow, we're gonna put a little burnt sienna, create almost a raw sienna Naples yellow effect with it. And then I'm just gonna absolutely wash this thing on here. So again, I love this opportunity to.
Let me swap these around,
Oh, yeah, Joe, thank you very much.
because it's gonna turn green.
Yeah. We'll see if some of that might run a little bit. Like, phew, we're going right on with it.
That's all right. You didn't
Look
hate
at that.
it.
Oh, man. You see, to me, when I look back at Sargent's watercolors, I'm beginning to really understand a lot of things. Because, you know, y'all know the watercolor I've always used, and I've always been satisfied with it and felt like, you know, it's fine. But by the same token, I also use other things. And this kind of drying situation, and when you come back and the way it runs at different stages and things like that, it just really, it makes me think so much of what I would see in like Winslow Homer's watercolors and different people. And I have a feeling it's because they used a similar type stuff.
When did they begin using sizing on watercolor paper? Larry, do you know that answer?
Oh, they've been doing that. Arches has been doing it for a
Years,
long, long time. You know, I couldn't tell you the
I just
exact
wondered
date,
if back
Joe. But,
in those guys' days.
oh yeah, well see, they've been using sizing way longer than that.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
so they had access to paper with sizing in it.
oh yeah. And they probably had a lot more variety than what we've got right now. But see, now some of this I really regret I went that much color. So, but I don't, leaving this vignette, I don't want it to. You know, I want it to. It'll dry very lightly now. I don't want it to look unfinished looking. You know, in other words, if I didn't use the white, I'd have nothing else to use. So I just wanted to really tint this. Oh yeah, they had, you know, Arches has been around since I think in 1994 they had their 500-year anniversary.
My
That's how long
goodness.
they've been making it.
So it's made in France, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when those guys came to visit me at several nights at that hotel, and I started asking them a lot of questions. And I told you all the story. I don't want to bore you with it again, but it was kind of funny because once they started talking about it, I told them, I said, well, you know, I've always had a desire to come over there and visit that plant over there. And I said, well, if you ever over there, look us up.
Yeah.
I figured
That wasn't exactly what he had in mind.
no, I figured I'd get me some green stamps from all the stuff I was playing informant and all that. But it didn't work. But you got to try, you know.
Oh, yeah.
God, I love it. No.
Now, did you take that one, Larry?
It's only 5 minutes. No. And see, now, I'll tell you, what I've been determined, I'll tell you what the turning point came. You know, every time I go to another level, it's always because somebody brings me a book or there's something I'm thinking about and it's just something unplanned happens, spontaneous. And Ann brought this book, and I've always wondered, you know, certain things about Winslow Homer, certain things about Sargent. I've always wondered about different things. And so when Ann came back with this book on John Singer Sargent from somewhere, we started looking at it, and she started copying some of the stuff out of it because she said, I want to get loose with it. You know, I want to get looser. And so I got excited about the book, and I ordered one. And then all of a sudden I started making these discoveries when Ann was working on it, and when I was working on it, I started making the discoveries as to what they did and how they did it. And a lot of it, I think they just use this kind of paper. You know, in words, they didn't miscut it, they didn't they just sketched and they didn't care. I mean, see, this is still just as damp as it can be. Now, I'm gonna flip that sucker around, find out, you know what, have I been on the screen?
You have, but you're not now.
No,
Yeah.
no. Okay, let me just get this up here where, I'm not used to having this big book to negotiate.
That's, yeah,
Okay, how's that?
that's it, that's correct.
So we took care of that little problem. Now, let's see what's gonna happen here. I wanna gray it down, I don't want as much as that red and blue. So I'm gonna go with the blue, take a little bit of the brown, and I'm gonna use it, let it still be predominantly blue. But I'm gonna start graying it down a little bit. So look at how beautiful it is. Now, we just might as well go ahead and make a bump on just to have a little fun. Yeah, I want to get a little bit of warmer color in here.
You put more brown in it.
Almost, this is almost solid brown now. So this time when I re-wet it, I'm getting a little more guts here with my values. But see, what's fun is it's still pretty controlled. Now I'm gonna just leave it. Go somewhere else. How we looking?
Super.
Pretty close? Okay, this is dry enough. All right, now let's take a little bit of that ultramarine blue, burn cyan, a little bit of that red. Now this time I'm gonna put a little black in it.
Yeah, more serious.
Yeah. It's still a little wet over this, so I better watch it. It's at times like this, when you don't want to dilly-dally and you want that black to be in there, this stuff just works beautifully.
What is it?
It's just black. Now, she's a little bit of a different red. Still red. Now, if you decide you want to just start playing with it a little bit. Play with it. I'm on the screen okay, huh? My head's not, is it?
No?
Good. Now this is kind of as per what we did on the Venetian scene, except I'm picking out different dark patterns. Can you believe
Take care of that.
it? See, in other words, what I'm trying to do is, instead of concentrating on detail, I'm concentrating on patterns. Like, I remember with the Venetian scene, it was the V shape by those cast shadows. Now it's this right here. And so what's going to make it so unique is later I'm gonna come back up in here and I'm gonna get a lot darker shadows and all as that dries. But then the final thing is when I come back and I'm have these two in the light, and then my foliage is gonna be in the light, see? So instead of cutting it in half, it's all gonna be connected. And then I'll pull this dark shadow around here that's gonna connect that, and I'll do whatever I wanna do. I might throw even a few more shadows in it.
I love all their white socks.
How's that?
All those little white socks.
And that you,
Oh man, that
love
just,
that.
I think I love that more than
Yeah.
anything else on it, Sarah. Okay, now we're gonna do this and this. A little bit of brown, a little bit of black.
you said you met Mr. Webb, Larry?
Who is that now? Mr.
Down at the archives
Mhm.
today.
I sure did.
Yeah.
But it was a coincidental thing because I called, I lost my paperwork, what else is new? So I called, and one of the very nice ladies down there, I didn't know who answered, I just called the archives. I'm just gonna leave a few of these places with that white like that. And so she told me, you know, to come on down, that it was till 4:30, and just come on all the way to the front, which I did. And so I took me a little while to get everything done because we had to work through what Cheryl had sent and Susan had sent. So they said that he was late and evidently was on his way, you know, and probably got caught up in the traffic downtown. So when he came there, I met him. He was a very nice fellow.
What age?
Very
person?
professional looking fellow. I'd say in his 50s, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
Really,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. It's cute.
Ooh, man. I mean, what else? You know, what can you say? It's just awesome.
Yes.
One second. Okay. Don't ask me how I'm going to pull this off, but I wanted that to be down there longer. So we're just going to do it.
Well, I'm amazed that he even came today.
Yeah, I am too, but
I thought he'd do his judging in the morning, but maybe not.
They want to sleep off you of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I can see why.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of work goes into stuff like that, and those people are wonderful to do it. Somebody's got to do it, you know. They're all very, very nice.
Especially when there's so many paintings to look at.
Yeah.
Do they have that every year, Dolphin?
No, this is the first year. They usually have the River Road show, and they cancel. It's usually national, and people send in slides, and they're juried in through the slides. But because of the turmoil, this man is from New Orleans, and I met two women artists from the North Shore who were participating. I think a lot of New Orleans artists.
did you ever
are
see any of his work?
participating. Never did.
And I looked on the internet. You know, the Clifton Webb you find on the internet mostly is that old actor. You remember they
Yeah.
did, I think, what was Cheaper
Cheaper
by the
by the
Dozen the
Dozen.
first time?
Uh-huh.
Very famous actor. But you'll find, if that's what you find when you look on the internet. Well, you do find this guy some, but you don't find any paintings.
Yeah. Well, the thing said he'd been teaching in the public schools in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
Stretch with that.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Oh, we got another one. See, and the thing you want to do is you don't want to really get in here and fuss. Just get in. See, I went over too far at times, so I heard what some people might believe. It doesn't bother me to go in here with a pencil on. Find out what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, this would be good. See? And kind of blocking off foliage area. Oh yeah.
Now that's rich.
I planned it that way, sir.
Kind of content.
Now I want to make sure. Catch my saw. I see some of this abrasiveness here and all. It's related to the paper, but again, who knows whether you're going to like it or not like it when you get through with it. So I feel like nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, now. And let's do a little bit of green in here, just to add another dimension. I didn't say dementia either.
In case anybody's sensitive.
You see, these little things I noticed, I think really will bring it out.
Look at that on the TV later.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, look at that. Is that something? I'm getting a little more blue than green, but who's counting? Now, as it stands right now, I kind of like that other paper that I used the last time a little better than this, but I don't dislike this. Now, come back in and get some of this purple. You can almost do this foliage without even using any opaque colors.
Just gonna suggest it.
How's that?
You're just gonna suggest it.
Sorry?
You're just gonna suggest.
Yeah,
foliage.
yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that, but then I'm just gonna come back like it's exactly like it's my light foliage here now.
I didn't realize you were using gouache.
Yeah. Sure am. Well, that's fun.
Is everything gouache?
Mm-hmm.
That's gouache.
Like we did the last time. See, like some of that abrasiveness right there doesn't look natural, doesn't feel natural. But, you know, again, c'est la vie.
Oh, that's pretty.
That look
That's
alright?
so pretty.
Yeah, man. So I'm going to continue this. And so what we're doing is we're just highlighting this in a way that it's giving us the effect that of this, this tree over here, but it's likewise picking up the sunlight like the little boy is going to pick it up down here. Now, one of the things that I think we can do that work very well on this is when we'll come back in and we'll utilize a little bit of my brown, because I want this to look like as it goes back, it actually starts getting a little darker, like it is in the picture.
Because it's deeper in the shadow.
Yeah. See what I love now, we just, oh man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, create a little interest in there. We don't have to go hog wild. That's doing what we wanted to do now. Now, if y'all notice on the bottom, there's a brownish tint down here. And see what that does to me, it just gives me an excuse to put it in there
Mhm.
and have another color.
Yep.
Because remember the rule, as long as the value's the same, you can make diversity through color.
And the more warms and cools you can incorporate, the
That's
more
exactly
interesting
right.
it is.
I think so, sir.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
That's why I put all the color in
Yeah.
that picture I got in there. Must be 1,800
It
colors
is
in there.
definitely warm and cool.
That's right.
And
Seasonal painting.
Whatever season you want it to be.
It's the one that you stuck the blue flowers in the middle of all the people.
Well, you didn't like them white. You thought it was snow.
Actually, I thought they
So
were
you're the very reason why that happened.
I told Sarah that's as bad as the mausoleum.
He's treading on thin ice.
He's treading on real thin ice on that one.
No, that'll watch, don't get too fussy, but this really does get a little darker as it goes back in here, so. There we go. I said I'll take care of that.
That's a nice.
We got 5 minutes. Okay, now. Would like to juice that burnt sienna up a little bit. That cadmium red.
You get that quinacridone feeling.
Ooh, yes.
Everybody have a good one.
All right, you take care.
Good to see you, my man.
I'll see y'all next week myself.
Okay, Pop.
Right.
Take care, Robert.
See what I love now. You can
Wow, that looks
Very-
so
start
great
doing
on
your-
the TV.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sure it looks
Looks pretty good in
great right
person.
side up.
Well,
Yeah.
I really don't know, you know, because I'm just kind of starting to let it happen. What I love is coming down here now.
It's picking up that yellow color again.
Oh, that's awesome, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
See, again, I'm reserving any opinions about it because, but I find that this texture it never got in my way on that other painting, and I feel like it's kind of getting in my way a little bit here. You know, it's just it's the regularity of it. I'll finish that door, and I think it'd be a good stopping point. Oh, look, we got a visitor.
Was that Dave Porter that used to bring his dog?
He did once, I think.
Yeah.
It was a real good dog. Well,
It was right under his table and
Yeah.
stayed right there.
No, man, Ann started bringing hers, and then it died, and then
yeah.
Oh, gee.
so we laid the law down. She couldn't come back unless she got another one.
Oh.
So she's gonna bring it next week. It's on.
I was gonna say she's got a new one.
What did she get?
Oh,
She got
the
another
same,
dog.
same
Is it a Great
Doberman.
Dane?
No, no.
Hey,
Doberman.
Good night.
Hey, thank y'all here.
But,
Tell your husband I said hi, and not to worry. We'll be ready for him. What's that? I just you got your name on it. Just like good job, good start on that here.
Sure is.
And just put it on the counter there, bud.
See y'all next week.
Good night.
Good night.
I'll turn this down a little bit later.
but the lady who has the Dobermans is like that, and I was saying, have you seen Ann's new dog? She's like,
I'll tell you what.
her dog is at my house.
Oh.
I haven't given it to her yet. Oh, okay.
Who is that now?
Her name is Dr. Tishner.
Okay.
She is fabulous.
Mhm.
Tishner.
Like Tishner's
As
said?
in,
Yeah,
yes,
that
that's
was a
why
doctor.
I remember
This
her.
is Cajun Pete, the old
That's
K
right.
John, with a
That's right.
story about an unpopular man. That was the Dr. Tishner's ad.
Wasn't that LeBlanc? Dudley LeBlanc? was it?
No, that was Hadacol.
No?
Hadacol was the.
Yeah, that was Hadacol, wasn't it? I don't know who.
Little-
I guess Tishner's was Tishner, huh?
I guess.
Now, I'm just gonna finish this. Y'all bear with me, we'll just put closure on this. I just feel like
It's got to do.
we got to get that little bit done.
No.
Good night, hon.
Enjoyed it. Tell you
Bye,
what,
Nicholas.
Actually, the little one had me up at 4, so I'm just kind of walking zombie.
wait a minute, that ended there, okay.
She wouldn't have sleep, but I didn't.
Because what happens is this is inside the wall, and the wall just actually goes like this, then that's the sidewalk up there.
But who's counting?
But I love the effect.
I do too.
Okay, now, I gotta put something on this area up here just for the heck of it, so. Of this new Lusa Casso. Lusa Goosa.
Mm-hmm.
That do it?
I did it.
We'll
Yeah.
stop for tonight.
Can't wait to see those
Can't
little
wait to
boys
see
get
the
in
people.
there.
Can't wait to see those
Man, I'm
people
telling you,
either.
is that setting the backdrop for them or what?
Uh-huh. They're gonna jump out.
I hate they walked off. I got to do one more thing.
They should have
I just
known that.
cannot resist
Uh-huh. That's just too important to let go.
these little shallows, just the fun of it.
Uh-huh.
And Donnie, I can tell you, you don't need to be crazy to do this, but it really does help.
Mhm. Look.
It's amazing
It's
too,
really
with that
nice.
one little line will do.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, that's just coming right together.
It is. It absolutely is. But it's supposed to have a sketch quality, and the paper lends to that.
That's a very good point, because I forgot about that,
If you're not really doing a finished.
Well, I
thing.
guess what I find on this one, I mean, they're all going to have their own characteristics. This has got a lot more. It's got a lot rougher texture for the dry brush. That other paper tended to stay wet, but it kept absorbing, whereas this got to the point that it kind of started filling in a lot quicker. But you know what? That foliage, that's pretty good for just leaving it white.
Like
Yeah.
that foliage.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna get to a point that I'm not even gonna hardly have to do anything on those figures, man, and less will be the best.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me
Well,
like a
thank
rusty
you.
fish.
Thank you.
Rusty fish.
process you use for this? It's the same?
Okay, we're back with our Thursday night group here, and going in for the conclusion of this painting. Now, the first thing I want to do is, as we look at the photograph, what I'm using to kind of link this together is I got all my darks over here and so forth. Now, what I'm going to have is a real heavy shadow here and here that really makes that recede. And I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to, like I did this to connect this together, and I'm going to do this. We just create little abstract patterns on the back of the wall. And then I'll have enough to where I'll have these shirts real light up against it, do a little bit of color down here, and that's just about going to do it. So let's come in now with that alizarin crimson one more time. I love that alizarin. Ultramarine blue. Put a little bit of that burnt sienna in it. But I love that alizarin and those shadows. Okay, now we're going to come in like a sign painter, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to, I think I'd be, this thing is so big to turn around. Let's see. No, we can't do it that way. Okay.
You know what we could have done is taken the page out.
That's what I was thinking. Well, I'm going to take time to do it, and I'll look on the video. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Okay, now we're going to turn this up around now to make sure I'm on the same. Okay. And what we're going to have is every bit of this is receding. So we're going to take this like this. Man, these colors are so luscious on here. Oh man, just look at that. We'll come up like this. Now I know I want this to come a little bit over the door too. So we're going to come on back like this. It's just what I wanted. It's behaving. Now, you know, I told y'all last week I was a little skeptical about the way this paper was drying. Look at how it dried nice and flat.
Yeah, just as soon as it got dry. That is beautiful. Just beautiful.
And then we're going to come back around here like this. Oh man, look at that. That baby just wants to talk to you. So I love when you come back with these washes. Now we want to come a little bit lower with this. It just makes those lights all pop out. And then we just come straight across to here. And then notice now how it just leaves this whole side over here light. Right up against that edge, see? And that's all we need to define it. Okay, see what I'm, now actually, the light, the direction of the light would, I should have had an angle coming in like that, but I'm not going to worry about that. Now I should have had, also, this should have stopped here and come over to here. We'll just do that with a little white paint after. We don't worry about a little thing like that. That's right.
You're working with gouache.
Okay, exactly. Exactly. I'll get rid of the heavy stuff though, so it'll make it a little easier for me to cover it. Oh, look at that. It's coming right on up. Okay, but I like those strokes, man. You just put those suckers in there and just leave them. All right. Now, we'll drop it down about a number 4. Keep with our same colors that we've been using on the shadows. And we can develop this a little bit more. Now right up under here, I'm going to make this shadow very pronounced. And then that center piece where there's a piece of molding or something there, I'm going to leave that, and then I'll come over, skip it, and just put the same thing over here. Just connect it like that. I'm exaggerating it a little bit. One reason I wanted to exaggerate the second one, and probably the most important one, is my brush slipped and went in the wrong place.
Happy accident.
We're going to come on like this, and then up here, I see where this really, I'm going to leave a little bit more light here than it is on that other one, but I'm going to accent this. See, that dark shadow comes off. Now that defines it well enough for us, huh? Okay, now we're gonna come on here, and I'm not even gonna try to show the one side of it. I'm just gonna come right down with the shadow on this strip. And see, when you're doing something real simple like this, to me, this is what makes it so effective. Well, I'm telling you, look at the way with this paper and that gouache, the way that this thing just glides across that paper. And see, I'm gonna enhance this a little bit, and I'm gonna put me a shadow going like this, and I'm gonna put me another one going like this. And then on this one, I'm gonna make this one come down a little stronger there, even though it's not really like that. And then down here, I'll continue through with a little bit of the line work. And then over here, leave that light, a little bit of line work here. Okay, now we're going to kind of antique this baby up a little bit here. But we'll still let that bright yellow come through like that and just have a little fun with it. Now we're going to make this a little darker over here, just to kind of enhance the chiaroscuro part of it, but still leave a lot of that yellow come through. And now I kind of like this part across the bottom. Well, we'll go back to another one of these number 4 brushes, and we're just going to put a little blue and brown. And I like the way that this kind of catches down here. And a little bit more blue in it. Kind of shows the antiquing of it. Now, I should have left that a little bit lighter there, but that's all right. So we're going to just...
It'll come up.
Oh,
I'll tell you
yeah.
what, looking at that other piece a while ago.
It sure did, man. So that I'll just highlight. I'm not going to worry about it. Now we've got another piece right here. Now if we want to get a little fancy, we'll go ahead and start coming up. A little bit of this. And let's get some of that pure burnt sienna. Not be afraid of it, just
Don't be scared.
don't be scared. That's right. I'm sure glad to hear about y'all selling those paintings, man.
Oh, that's a big thrill.
Always
Spread the cheer around.
Man, that's right. Well, you know, you just take all that work you've been doing, you're having fun, and then you get a chance to sell a few things along with it, man. I tell you, that's a winning combination. See, I could put a little more detail under here, but I decided I'm just going to leave it. Now, I might, like up here, this might define this a little more if I did this. So I'm going to kind of do a little bit, and I wouldn't do too much, but that's all right. And you see, you wouldn't think something like this would make a lot of difference, but now watch when I come in, put my little shadow here. Now, all of a sudden, that shadow connects itself all the way up. And then we'll come across the bottom area here and might antique these doors a little bit more than they really are. This is going to be helping my chiaroscuro on this little boy.
You probably don't remember it. I brought a painting in, about 6 or 8 months ago when I was going to paint on the back of it, and you talked me into fixing it. It was that one that we did down Gulfport or somewhere down at that window, and so we fixed it, and I gave it to the Burt Jones Golf Classic for the Muscular Dystrophy, and it looked real nice. And lady in my aerobics class apparently bought it. She just put 2 and 2 together and figured out it was me that had done it. So she brought it so I could sign the dust cover on the back.
Isn't that
I
encouraging?
looked at that thing, it looked really good. Because I don't usually give them an original, I usually give them a print.
Right.
I said, well, you were lucky, you got an original this time. She was tickled to death. She's from Canada. She really liked it.
Well, man, that, you know, that's a reward in that.
Yeah,
too.
it was.
See, I think we just need a little yellow in here for whatever reason.
Oh,
Look at that, man. I say we need a little bit of color to kind of highlight it. And then I'm gonna just come back while that's a little wet, and we're gonna drop that back a little bit, even though it doesn't really do that. It'll just kind of help. See, that's it. I'm not painting the door, so I'm gonna leave that sucker. And let's hit this with, now I'm gonna come back in a little bit of black and some of these other colors. And I'm gonna kind of create this ridge here that I messed up a little while ago. And see, I love the way that old mole or whatever it is down there, who knows, is, you know, kind of building up on that. And then we're just gonna do that. See, it's gonna continue all the way to the edge.
Larry, was Cheryl excited about getting her painting in
Oh
that
man, she
show?
really was, naturally, you know. So you never get tired of that, huh?
That reception is Sunday.
is it this coming Sunday?
From 2 to 4.
Really?
The 11th.
You talking about day after the day after tomorrow? Okay. Round it out.
Yeah. Or at the archives.
I work St. Francis on Saturday.
Well, I would love to do it, sir. I'll tell you what, thank you for telling me about it, but I'm gonna be getting those, I gotta get this. Well, it isn't really that, it's just, like this lady bought this painting, this and her brother, who's dying, and I mean, asked her if she could have the, you know, have her edition as soon as possible, and I stayed up real late the other night printing it for her. A lot of people just want to have that for Christmas, so I'm kind of committed. You know, everybody's trying to do a little something, and I think this really is going to encourage people.
Oh, I do too.
You know, I just think writing it from New Orleans, and I listen to WWL every day, and I listen to the battles they're having, man, and they're trying to really, you know, do what they can. And it's a bigger problem than people can fathom, Joe. And I don't think
it's the biggest with it that's ever been in the United States.
And it's not a problem that's just that resolvable. You know, it's not like you can send a little aid and then everything's fine. Boy,
it's not that.
This is something that's
you go build one house, but when it goes the whole building, the whole town.
Rebuilding and then all those displaced
and it's not
people.
just building it. You got to get rid of what was there.
That's
you know,
right.
whatever is left.
See, that's giving me a little gray effect, so I'm just going to gray it all the way across. I'm just going to use the old BRFAA, just gray it right across effect. And we're going to let that dry real good. Okay, now I love coming back to this. I'm going to take this brown again here. Now let's see if I can make that sucker pop on this. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to try to get some of these yellow things with the dry brush. Well, I lost some of that, but that's all right. That's close enough for a quick sketch. Okay, now let's take a little bit of the blue. It's kind of got a little more blue than anything else, so I'm going to make it a pretty blue. Bring that sucker across like this. Let's just go more straight off more. Is my head in the picture right now?
No, it is not.
Because I moved it.
Not at all.
The camera earlier, and I think that took care of it.
Larry, we're going to have that concert, the Baton Rouge brass ensemble is going to play Christmas music at church again.
Oh, okay.
And if you want some tickets, I'll bring them to you next week. It's going to be on the 17th, a Saturday night.
Sure, that's the day. So crazy. That's the day my little granddaughter's graduating from college.
But that'll be, graduation is in the daytime.
Yeah, but we're going to have a big, we're going to have our Christmas
To
that
do.
day and all, because we're leaving to go out of town. But listen, I really appreciate you telling me about it.
You all went last year, didn't you, Larry?
No, we had something last year that came up, but I really appreciate it because,
It's a nice thing.
I mean, it just, you know, normally that would have been good because we don't, you know, we wouldn't have had anything to do. Oh, I can imagine it is.
It was just
And it's
incredible
different
last
too, you
year.
know?
Yeah.
It's just-
There's man. Did you get that herd of horses done?
Yeah,
Just put a big cloud of dust in the middle.
I was
Nose
thinking
on
about-
one side.
No,
He's
don't get him
allergic to
started.
dust.
I
You
was
can't do that.
thinking about a snowstorm.
Oh, that'll work. That'll work.
Hey,
Don't get him started,
y'all
Bill.
ought to see
That'll
this.
work.
We were out there in Texas coming back, and Tam wanted a tumbleweed to show the kids. And she glitters that she has done this before. She paints it silver and then puts glitter on it, you know, and then decorates it like a Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
And so
She
she
found
was
a
passing all
tumbleweed?
these trees. Oh
Yeah.
God! And so finally she saw one. She said, "That looks like a good one out there." And, you know, and you're looking at it from the road, and you go
Yeah.
out to a fence, and you know it's as big as this room. So she drug it back over there, and I thought, "Well, what the heck? I'll put it in the car." You know? And so all the rest of that day, she kind of, you know, I knew it wasn't going to be the one that she
Yeah,
wanted. You know?
yeah, throw it away and get
Yeah,
another one.
because it hadn't really rolled enough, you know.
Okay, yeah, you got
they got to get some of that stuff's got to fold. It's got to get beat out of it.
That's
So-
right.
So the next day we were coming down and the wind was blowing literally 40, 45 miles an hour. It was just howling, you know. It almost blew the car off the road. As a matter of fact, we passed a truck that was 18-wheeler was blown over on its side.
Oh, my gracious.
Oh, my God.
And so finally I saw this one blowing down a ditch. And it's coming right out.
I don't want to believe this.
I don't
And
either.
it you know, it looked like a really good one. And I said, Tam, I said, see that one right there? She said, yeah. And so I pulled up just a little bit ahead of her, and she opened up the door and got out. Well, of course, it's going
Keep
several
on
times
going,
faster
yeah,
than
that's
she
right.
would. So I watched her
Lucky
chase
to catch
after
it
her
on.
for a while. Boy, she was bear down doing some running, you know. So I took off and drove down the road about almost about a block and a half, I guess. She got out and caught the tumbleweed whenever it got to me, you know. And so I got it and I put it in the car. You know, it was a nice looking tumbleweed. And well, I got started to put it in the car, and I reached in and I grabbed hold of the other one, and I pulled it out and let it go. And so I showed it to Tam. She said, "Oh yeah, that's just what I wanted," you know. So I said, "Okay." I said, I'll put it in the car." And she said, "Well, what happened to the other one?" I
Oh,
said,
Oh, no.
"I let it go." She said, "Where's it at?" I said,
About 2
"Way
miles
down there,
down the
about a
road.
half mile down the road, literally." You know?
you had to go catch that thing.
No, she didn't want it. She wanted me to, you know, she was telling me before going to tell me before I put it in the car and throw that in the way, you know.
I'd like to see what it looks like after she
Yeah, I
gets
mean,
it.
after hearing that story, huh? But it's so funny. She was doing some hard running trying to catch that thing.
Oh.
You know, now wasn't that something? I just did that on there. It was still a little more.
Uh-huh.
See, because what attracted me about this was the way that this shadow dropped out all the way down here
Uh-huh.
at the angle it was, and I put it right on the same level.
Yeah.
And actually, that's why that was way back up here too. But I'm gonna leave that one.
Showing different.
Just showing the different.
That's different depth in there.
Yeah,
in that
isn't that
pillow.
neat?
My goodness, look at that on the TV. Oh, now you're hitting some picture there.
Now his head's in the way.
Uh-huh.
All right.
There you go.
It's hard to get ahead in this world.
It is.
I know, I tell you.
Let's do a little bit more of that. That's finished. That baby's done. All right. Think it's working all
I think
right?
we're gonna finish this
Yeah, I
dude
love it.
tonight.
I love
We got
it.
15 minutes, that's enough
I
time
want
to
to
put
see
another
all
good
those
kid
little
in there.
white socks in there.
I see there's another shadow here, but I don't, it's just inside of that door, so I'm gonna leave it. I would like to put a little bit more on it, but I just am afraid I'm gonna put too much.
I gave my brother a painting several years ago, and he had it matted and framed, and it's hanging in his living room. And when we went out to shoot, man, that's a pretty picture. I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize, I didn't realize it was that pretty. you
Well,
know.
we're good, man.
Yeah, isn't
And
that amazing? You
And I
got
painted my 3 little grandkids in it. You know?
Oh,
And by God, they look just like them.
oh my goodness. It just got better with age, didn't it?
It did. And the colors, I didn't remember how vibrant the colors were.
Oh.
you know,
It was,
when I
must have been acrylic, huh?
No, it was
watercolor?
watercolor.
I'll be
Yeah.
darned.
Well, I think sometimes when we just finish them, we're too close to them.
Yeah.
Have to kind of remove ourselves for a while.
That's amazing, and it came out, and it was really that nice, huh? Well, that's
Yeah. pleased with my effort.
And your brother didn't want to get it back after he got it framed and everything, did he?
No. No, I wouldn't ask. As a matter of fact, his wife said I could have it back, and I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, it's one that I painted, you probably remember, it was an old store up on a hill, and it was a riverboat going down the
Yeah,
river.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
sure,
Gene. Three little
absolutely.
kids.
That was a
And remember,
beautiful
I
thing.
kept trying to paint some horses in it, and it looked like the horses were flying rather than going down the hill, so I finally just scrubbed that idea altogether.
I mean, you can always save the horses for another painting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing,
That's right.
saving those
Save them
horses,
horses.
yeah.
Man, I hate every time those horses are brought up, Gene.
Yeah.
Makes you nervous, doesn't it?
Makes you nervous,
Yes,
nervous as me, man.
Still have that picture too.
Now look at this, I love the way you can just end that with that
Uh-huh.
dry brush with this stuff, like that, and I'm gonna let that dry a little bit.
Now that rough paper is really working out.
You see, this is what I told you I was a little nervous with it last week, but it's really, yeah.
I'm surprised you can get that straight of lines.
Yeah, it really is. It's been amazing, Gene.
He doesn't worry a whole lot about it. He just kind of does them and they're okay.
I just, Paul, I know there's some Indian made it somewhere over in India. But I love to see that dry brush, man, that's just, I'm gonna leave enough to have a pattern there. And, let's go ahead and jump in on our first boy and see
All
what we
right.
come up with here.
You boy.
All right. I won't take much over that.
He saves not too much.
Just a hint.
All in one. Well, no, it's really true, Joe. That's gonna be the biggest thing, is not doing too much. And then, we're gonna put a blue shirt on that dude. A little shadow coming down like this. Maybe just a little bit under here. And then we're gonna have a little bit darker blue down here for the blue jeans. And that's gonna do it. I always try my side. Because with that Kia Scorer, man, I really wanted to pump. You know, I just don't want a lot on it. And then, get a little bit flesh tone like this.
What you doing, girl?
Come see.
Cool.
Isn't that cool?
Ain't
Can
that
you
cool?
see, Sherry? Did you get through?
You finished the magnolias?
We're not sure.
Good.
We're not sure. I hope so.
I was disappointed you didn't put that girl in the show.
Oh, I ran out of time. I honestly, I forgot.
She called me.
Okay.
I called her. I called her the day that
yeah.
it was due.
Oh, man. Come on, Cherie.
Yes.
But
She got to frame it.
Well, it-
they're not raising kids and all that other kind of stuff.
I know,
understand?
I know.
There'll always be another
Exactly.
show.
Good to remember that.
Mhm.
That's okay. It'll be there for next year. Nobody will ever
That's right.
know.
Can I see, I'm really gonna,
If you get a
But
chance
sucker
to
got a
go
long
see it.
foot back.
Yeah.
Maybe up till the end of June.
well, they're wearing them shoes, so they're so big,
Yeah.
man.
Yes, take the children.
Well, you know, Larry, the one that I got in the show was Jimmy.
Was what now?
Jimmy, your portrait of Jimmy, the guy in Jackson.
Yeah?
That's the one I got in the show.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Good show. Well, that's encouraging, too, you know.
And to hit up all those paintings, they put Joe's and mine side by side.
Did they really?
They-
Sure did.
How
Yeah,
fun.
I always do that. Do they really?
My guy and her trail.
Like the original Bigfoot, Gene.
That dude got a good understanding on it, man.
You're so funny.
Hey, if that guy wasn't turned under so far, he'd be another foot taller,
He
wouldn't he?
would have been a tall lad,
That's
wouldn't he?
right. That's not a foot. They just bent his leg. Mm. Well, that's a shadow.
Okay, now this one I think I'm gonna have,
I don't think this is.
No, that's right.
no, so I'm gonna lose a lot of that in the shadow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's part of the shadow of the stop sign there.
Oh, on his back.
Mhm.
Oh, I see, on the ground.
Mhm.
That is so pretty.
So she read.
It's amazing. It's just amazing.
See, even though I do that, I feel like I'm gonna have to come in and put a little bit of shadow. And then I'll hit it while it's wet like that. Yeah, put it on the side of it. This is kind of the fun of doing this because I don't really want to have it really defined. And see, and I'm gonna just come back in a minute and get those blue jeans in here. We're doing Tom Lawrence.
So the light's coming from that way?
Yeah, it's coming from over here. See, and I'm gonna cast that shadow across them.
Mhm.
I'm just really gonna try to do, actually this, well, it's hard. Hardest thing I think in the world to do is to understate something. You just your natural tendencies to want to come in and really
Whap
overdo it.
in there.
How's that?
And whap it in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit of that. Leave that for a minute. We'll come back around now. It's drying up. See, that I love using this gouache on here, Gene, and this is just a handmade, mold-made paper, but it's made in India, and it's, you know, it's not got any sizing in it. It's just a little bit different. Now, but you always have. So that's one of the things about using that black. It looks like it'd be a good color, but it doesn't really. When you do these curves, always remember in New Orleans, they're always going to have that little edge, and then you just put that little extra do they have like that, and it really makes it stand up. And then coming around the bottom of it down here, I'm really put
You're
a
missing
lot
the
much lighter
TV
wash.
player. Push it.
How's that?
Move it up a little bit because it's not on
There
that
you
way.
Thank you. We'll come around over here, and I just want to lose this, really. I don't want a lot. In fact, I'm
And
just,
just like
It does, isn't it?
just gonna carry that sucker out.
Wow. That looks great.
I need all the encouragement I can get right now, so I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. You certainly got
That
us
is
impressed.
neat. Look at that.
So I've been picking up a lot of. See, I like that little edge there. Okay, now, over here, that's where I wanna, let's get some of that crimson and really bring that up, like I did at the top. Paint fast now.
Fine, you're doing fine.
See, this is,
run that over here. Can't just make it abstract.
Mhm.
So now that settled it down.
Mhm.
We always think we got a fuss, and we don't. Now see, my big thing is, do I put more in the shirt and all that? And my first reaction is no, just leave it. Come back and put that in there. And then take a little bit of this dark color here, put that in there, and then kind of lose some of this. I lost the white socks on that one.
Oh, yeah.
The other one too. So we'll find them
Oh,
again.
yeah. I love those
And
songs.
so you got all those socks. I mean, that's we can name that picture socks.
Waste your hand. Okay.
What I did there, but that's all right. I'm gonna come back in again with this kind of a. Gotta have no fear, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
I'm
of.
thinking of it.
And I'm gonna lose a little bit of this in here, even though it. This is my first tendency on that yellow is to want to go back in and put a little bit more definition, but I'm not. I want to fill in that white.
You know what? He told us yes next week. We're Tuesday night people, but we couldn't come Tuesday.
Okay. Now we're just going to go ahead and kind of back off a little bit on the Chiaroscuro, and I am going to just make this a blue shirt.
What concert are you playing?
It's a pretty color.
And then we'll take some of the darker blue for the pants. I'll let that dry. And put whatever else I need to put in there.
I don't believe in violence.
She could have signed it. You know.
Hey, Mr.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good week.
Okay. We're supposed to bring a snack next week?
Yeah, or
Okay.
wine. You bring the wine, Mrs. Hickman?
Oh yeah, we'll have. We got that here. We
These
have
are-
to get some tonight. So, because some of them were saying that it's a little kind of cold.
is
It
cool.
is
I tried to tell him I was cold, but
Yeah.
he didn't pay
Little
good
chilly.
attention to me.
Little chilly.
Figured he had an old box of wine back there somewhere.
A box of wine.
You know.
We have to think what we're gonna bring. I think I'm bring sausage cheese balls. I love those. Those would be the only.
You notice,
And she didn't want it for school anymore.
I need to
She
take
ever
all
pulled
that-
out. I said, I'll take it.
Works for me.
It sure does.
Mary Ruth, if you can wait just a minute, I'm gonna carry all that stuff out for you too.
Okay, sweetie.
Tell me what needs to be carried, I can do that.
Oh, I got some prints and
I got it all together.
and
here,
that
Joe, if you
rocking
want.
chair in the frame.
Okay, well, here's the
Oh,
rocking
that's
chair.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that yours?
It
That's
is
nice.
cute.
That's
Did she do
beautiful.
pretty?
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Of course, you know the matting in the frame makes the picture.
Yeah,
So
well,
you
you
got
have
a nice
something to
In that
picture
start
case,
with.
there.
in that
That's
case, you could just
beautiful.
left the picture out. That's not true, because that's pretty.
Wow.
Good.
Rocking chairs are hard to do.
If the wind blows again, we'd love, can't wait to see you.
Good night.
Good night. Y'all be careful.
Woo!
Yeah, that temperature dropped out there.
I hate to be cold.
Just go ahead and put the old blow dryer on here real quick. See, I think these two would just, I'm gonna just leave them.
I would. I think they look incredible.
You see, I'm gonna do a little something here that's gonna. Thank y'all for the encouragement.
Ah,
Yeah.
We'll finish them up.
Party
Good night,
night.
ladies.
It's time for Christmas here.
Right.
Just leave them right on the end of the counter, will be fine. Hey, good to see y'all here. And look, anytime it's convenient,
Okay.
okay? Thank you.
You got the door? Oh, you're warm.
Oh, what do you mean warm? I just came from outside.
There it is. Thank you. I'm fine. Yeah.
Help her out too when she gets ready. Hey, he's gonna be my replacement tonight.
Yeah, did you carry my one out in the frame?
Yeah,
Yes.
right,
Oh,
everything's
okay.
in the back.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Yes, ma'am.
What, Sally? Oh, she says you have your original deer. Larry, the print.
Oh, yeah, let me give it back to her.
That has so
Here, Sally, let me.
Yeah,
much
we
life
used
to
to
it.
get windshield
Isn't it?
tappers
Ah,
up there in
Sarah,
the low
it's
Oh, I
amazing.
know,
Wow. You
yeah.
wouldn't think of just the little bit on the movement of this.
Oh, that is
But
something,
how
huh?
it made
Yes,
such a
isn't it?
difference. That's so incredible.
Okay, now, I wanna really
I'm
get
so
this,
overdone it.
The background
Me too.
with,
get this really deep blue now.
I wish I wouldn't do that.
I have no
I don't
idea.
believe,
Well, you know, like,
I don't think so.
you just gotta
I think
work
that's
at
all
that, you know, and that's why I'm really having these exercises with you all, and I'm,
Can I take something for you, Sally?
cause it's just really hard to know, you know, what to do, what not to do.
Well, it does help a whole lot to watch.
It does, and to see
Thank
what
you.
it turns out like.
Well, I mean, it's just, we're just all blazing new trails together, that's what I love about it. So I like this, catching that animation of this one being up in the air like this. I mean, and it's the Bigfoot part of it that really, I think, makes it.
Oh, I do too. Shoot.
And you can see how much I drew on, is my head in the way?
No, you're
Is
fine.
it coming out on the screen? I think everybody will be able to see that.
You're
I
fine.
don't
You're
believe.
perfect.
You don't have to worry about much of a design on these shoes,
No, no.
huh?
Big black ball.
Yeah. See, that's all I need. I'm getting the hang of it now. In terms of simplifying it. Okay, then we're gonna take just a little bit of stroke here. And then a little bit here,
Just come to life. Look at him.
a little bit here. And then where I lost him, and just come back over here and I'll pick up a little bit of that white sock like that. It kind of puts a little zing in it. Oh, yeah.
Well, Sally, I went out to the
Cute.
car, and good night.
Okay,
Say
good
good night.
night.
And I won't see you Thursday, guys.
Oh, well, have a Merry
Yeah.
Christmas then.
Mr. Joe's gonna help you,
I know,
he's gonna take my place
I know, but
tonight.
we got it on Tuesday.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, come back and
Come
visit
back and
another
see us.
time.
We all brought the cake tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was wonderful.
Off the way y'all are carrying on, they're gonna think that's the only reason y'all want to keep back.
They bring food. We like those.
Shame on y'all.
One piece was just, they just
It
didn't do
wasn't
it.
enough. We just got to try it again, make sure the other
It was
slices
just
were
little
equally
tiny
good.
pieces.
It was too cold to have ice cream. We had to have
No,
two
I had
pieces.
that too.
Did you have ice cream?
I couldn't do it. I
Oh,
looked
yeah,
at
they do.
We had ice cream.
there weren't too many people in the ice cream store.
No. We
Man.
had to keep those guys in business.
Maybe just a little bit of something here. See, I don't really want to do a whole lot.
And I want them to just be nondescript. I'm just gonna, if y'all can hang in there with me a couple of minutes.
Let's just see, it looks wonderful.
We'll put the finishing touches on.
Good night, Sally.
Bye, Sally.
Did you get her in there, Joe?
Yeah, that's the second time.
She's hard.
If she doesn't get out, if she doesn't get out, come back.
Well, she may wind up back in here again.
Man, I tell you,
That's how I made it. She
I hope to see you be real sweet and kind.
The next
Comes
time.
back.
Okay, lady.
I'm gonna lock her in there. I couldn't believe I had her all in there.
And she escaped.
First thing I know, she's back
She almost did it back in.
I know. Y'all are-
Listen, it's 2005. When y'all hear this in 3005 or something like that, I want y'all to remember I wasn't any part of it.
He did. He made zero comment. Look at you.
you're proud of yourself,
Look
aren't
at
you?
his face. He was
I
tickled.
know, too.
That poor old lady.
I had a good laugh all day.
Well, I tell you what, man. Might as well forget my line.
That is funny, Joe.
You were too efficient. Look, see, you just had it too organized. Okay. Woohoo! Look at the red.
Well, they're not gone yet.
You're not out of yet.
Don't take off your
No,
coat,
I'm only
Joe.
got my hat, coat and hat on. I can froze to death out there. It's real, that wind's coming up.
Oh, I don't think I could go. I think I'm happy to stay here.
Maybe Richard will have a fire going for you.
No, he won't even be home.
No, that's not fun.
It's the, I don't mind that part. It's getting in the car when it's cold, but I don't want
All
to do
those seats.
You could go out and warm it up for us, sure.
I was thinking you could do that. You have on your coat and you're used to
Your
going
hat.
out.
You've already
back
gone
there.
out twice.
Besides, Joe, you've been trained already.
Yeah,
That's
right.
right.
He's used to it.
That's mighty neat.
I think we ought to leave
Isn't that
those.
neat?
We ought to
This
leave
is-
those
you
because
know,
I'm gonna
I
wait and
think
erase.
there's nothing else you could do.
Erase my lines. I'm gonna show you one area I'm gonna do in closing that I
You
feel,
imagine.
I just makes it look more than New Orleans type thing if you, especially if you grew up there, okay? I said, what I love about this green, you can almost use it by itself. Okay, let's come in here.
And this is all
And
white.
I'm gonna just make it like this is a little broken part in the sidewalk. And it's just growing down here.
And no wonder that mold goose have had down in New Orleans, it had a head start before they had the storm.
Joe, I mean, it
The
did.
town's full of mold.
I said, I felt like this would repeat a little bit of foliage and give it a little bit more identity. And, but it, you know, sometimes it's hard to just stop and not do any more, but I just don't feel like I want to do any more. So we're gonna go with it. But I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me, because I love to be able to just get in, say what I want to say and do it, and then we'll have some more planned. We'll be ready to start another one next week.
Great. Is that the wind or is that a motorcycle?
No,
on
that's a
Sherwood?
motorcycle. Too bad that one wasn't rated for the New Orleans book.
Yeah, Joe,
That's true.
But you know, you never would put a book out if you
That's
if
right.
you
But
waited to
you
put
might
all
have
the
to do
paintings
another
down.
book.
That's
Well,
true. Having
You
have the
gotta have
second.
one for the future.
That's
Yeah.
volume 2.
I think that's.
Oh,
a
that
new-
looks
You could have
good.
one
It's
called
just
New
enough to
Orleans
trash it up a little
Revisited.
bit. Now, I got one more little small thing that I think will add to it, because all of this is part of the thing that I think settles it down really well. And then so we're gonna kind of connect that. You see where all this is
Yeah, I
connected
think
with,
it
it's the
connects all the
sidewalk.
walls.
And I had a thought to maybe put another shadow coming in, but I just feel like I'm to
Well,
the
you got
point.
verticals, and you've got horizontals, and you've got diagonals, so you
I think I need to leave it, Joe.
don't want to go wrong with that.
Don't you? What y'all think?
I think you're very, very close.
Oh, yeah, that kind of brings you
Uh-huh,
along.
Yeah.
that's nice.
Kind of settles it, connects that area down there.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just something because, you know, there really isn't anything going on. And I think it just gives it that little bit of antique and that,
Mm-hmm.
some of this down here.
No, it really will be. Beautiful.
That's
Wow.
Beautiful,
just
beautiful.
fabulous.
Such
Wow.
I think
such
we'll go ahead and
lines
call
in
that
it.
one. Well, you-
Because you've got those strong contrast with those action figures right there.
You think so, sir? You think it's enough?
I do.
Well, we're gonna just call it finished, because I really, I'm
You
gonna
don't want to overdo.
stick to my guns on that. I just do a couple of things I forgot to hand, so we'll put that in there. But see, again, I like the nondescript part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it tells a story. Makes a sale.
Wonderful.
Okay, and I think, now see, I like those few little light areas, texturizing that, so what I'm gonna
In the
do,
brick.
you see the white?
Mm-hmm.
But the white won't hold up, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of dark.
Mm-hmm. That works fine. Works fine. Makes it interesting.
Makes it more real.
Yeah, see, it just kind of chips away at
Little
it.
shadows.
And then one last thing, and then this really is the last part. Let's get this a little bit darker
Oh,
down
yeah,
here.
it settles it.
Wow. What a treasure.
Yay!
We'll call this one finished, and let's just stand it up.
I want to sit right side up.
Yeah.